Thanks for joining us on Crime Watch. I'm Ivy Kanu. On the show today, the chilling revelation by the Minister of Women Affairs that no fewer than 3,600 women were raped during the coronavirus lockdown has left many wondering as to whether efforts to combat sexual and other types of violence against women are yielding results. But reprieve may just be on the way for victims, as one of the cases which made national headlines is now recording some progress. Now, after months of what seemed like a long wait, marked by protest and diligent investigation, the police in Oyo State have arrested a 50-year-old native doctor and 20-year-old man allegedly responsible for the death of Barakat Bello and other killings in some parts of the state.
After the long wait, coupled with an aggressive and sustained policing strategy, the Oyo State Police Command says they have nabbed those behind the killings in some parts of the state.
The assailants troubling the settled water at Akiele local government area and some suspected criminal elements carrying out defilement of minors and teenagers in the state have been arrested and will be showcased here today. These have been made possible through different strategies employed by the Oyo State Police Command tactical teams, including Special Anti-Robbery Squad (SAS), Anti-Kidnapping Squad (AKS), Swift Response Squad (SRS), POF ADA, personnel of State Criminal and Investigation and Intelligence Bureau (CIID) Iyagaku, Ibadan, and police officers from Moneya and Ojo divisions.
A 50-year-old native doctor allegedly mentored 20-year-old man to become a ruthless killer. The police say the duo are responsible for the death of Barakat Bello and other mindless killings in the Akinyele local government.
Before I kill my victims, I usually approach Baba. He will tell me to kneel down and close my eyes. I would recite some incantations, then rub some ointment in my mouth. His directive is that once I attack my victims, I should recite the incantations 3 times, turn my back against my victims, then some spirit would come around to have intercourse with the victim.
I don't know anything about the murder. I didn't send him on any errand. I have never killed before. I saw him last since 2016, since he left my house. The cops called me and I went home. Then they arrested me. I'm innocent.
A graduate of the University of Ibadan has also been linked to a murder case, but he claimed it was only framed up by an aggrieved customer.
It's possible to know my shop because my shop is located at Sasa. Then I have many apprentices. Even there are some of them that I do pay with nothing less than 12,000 naira in a month. So I have up to 12 apprentices in my shop, and my shop is even my salary. I'm a graduate from University of Ibadan. Even my salary, I'm level 8, step 7 officer in a public school. So I didn't know anything about this thing. The day I was arrested, it was even somehow I was surprised. I don't know anything about this case. He even said it true right now that
The man said you have offended him before now. This man. I don't know him, sir.
I don't know the man. I have told the cops to release him. He is innocent. He insulted me the day I came to patronize him at his shop. He was very rude to me. The police say they are bothered about the rising case of murder and rape, and relatives who have lost their loved ones continue to cry for justice.
The police say they are bothered about the rising cases of murder and rape, and relatives who have lost their loved ones continue to cry for justice.
She's a pregnant woman of 7 months, and she came back to Ibadan to come and have a certificate from University of Ibadan. And I was just informed that this is the offender of that particular day. We demand justice from the government, and we hope it will be served.
The police have promised to go all out against criminals in Oyo State.
This police parade once again brings to the fore the level of decadence in our society. It therefore behoves on parents to properly train their children and government to create a society where our citizens can thrive.
Kidnapping for ransom has grown to become one of the biggest organized crimes in Nigeria and is seen as a national security challenge. It is one challenge that the Pegi and Dafara communities in Kuje, Abuja came face to face with in the past 3 years. But they are now looking within to mobilize forces and put an end to the menace.
Pegi and Dafara are two ethnic Bagi communities in the Kuje Area Council of Abuja. In 2018 and 2019, both communities made the news for the wrong reasons. Kidnapping was top on the list of criminal activities that bedeviled the rural communities. It got so bad that the police upgraded this outpost to a divisional police station. Residents on their part embarked on the rehabilitation of the unpaved roads to improve the response time of the police in the event of a distress call. Several months down the line, the efforts appear to be paying off.
The issue of raping and armed robbery, that is out of it. They've completely curbed that issue.
We are having challenge of security, but as from now, we are feel better now, because even you are moving to Kuje now, you see that in the bush, you see police are mounting around the road, and we feel comfortable in the movement.
But the improvement is marginal. We're told a few weeks ago some persons were kidnapped.
There was a kidnap incident that happened. Then, based on information at Kabimangoro bush site, I took my men personally or myself. We went to that place based on information. We exchanged fire with them and we rescued 4 victims on hot. We rescued 4 of them on hot. I think it was a good plus to us and with the help of the community.
This bush track has been identified as a flashpoint. It provides a shortcut to Pegi. A number of police operatives have been deployed to the farms. We're told the measure is to ensure the kidnappers that often took advantage of the solitary bush track are denied freedom of action.
We discovered they're not living among us. They strike and they go back. They're not living here. They come from neighboring towns. Perhaps now got this road, this bush links to Nasarawa. They come from far.
Irimiya Sarki is a local chief of Pegi. He is pleased with the efforts to keep his community safe, but believes a lot more can be done.
We have a land for the division, that the police division. I would like to have a request to give us a division near to us because the one is far from us here. So I want to give us nearby to here.
The access road linking the communities is barely 1 kilometer completed.
As we are coming, you see that the road is very, very rough.
The road is still a concern. The government have just to complete 1 kilometer, and we are imploring them to please help us by completing the 14 kilometer. So when the road is out of it, because most of these things happens at that jungle, that same spot.
The people believe addressing the development deficit of the area would have a positive impact on security.
In terms of security, it's not yet El Dorado for members of this community. 2 things they desire: an increased deployment of law enforcement agents in the area, as well as expediting work on the road construction. They believe that with these 2, security would be marginally improved in this area.
Kidnapping has led to the loss of tens of thousands of lives and huge sums of money in Nigeria. Many of his victims have been killed in the course of being abducted. Many more have been injured. This is in addition to huge amounts of money lost to ransom takers. Well, security experts believe rising unemployment and poverty are some of the reasons this menace has refused to go away. That will be when we come back. Many have argued that kidnapping persists because the benefits of the crime exceeds its cost. So the obvious solution is to raise the cost by imposing harsher, surer penalties to serve as deterrent. Security expert Air Commodore Darlington Abdullahi, retired, believes that a deliberate attempt at improving the economic situation will complement the overall strategy in the fight against kidnapping.
It is commonplace for people to look at the security services and think that they have all the solution to some of these security challenges that we have, like the issue of kidnapping that we're talking about. But the fact is that there is so much the security agencies can do in this regard. As long as the situation of, the poverty, the unemployment situation keeps getting worse, the economic situation, keeps declining nationally and all that, there is the tendency for these things to continue to increase because a lot of people are being pushed to the wall. And though poverty is not an excuse, but then people really have found out from previous developments that it is one of the cheapest ways of making money, and they are kind of stuck to kept to it now, as because the money is not coming from the rightful sources, and a lot of them think that that's the best way to go. Unfortunately for us, they used to target the highly placed people at the inception of kidnapping and all that. But now it cuts across everybody. Nobody is safe anymore because they think that even if they pick up the people at the lower level of the nation, they have people who can come out to want to rescue you, and as such pay ransom and so on. So it is really a problem. And until we begin to look beyond the security agencies to solve this problem, I think it's we won't be doing ourselves any good. I think we need to look at, for the security agencies, let us look at some of the things they need to look at the ways that this crime is being perpetrated. Let us start with the one chance syndrome. The one chance syndrome is a situation in which they use vehicles to kidnap people. Either it could be different at different levels. Once you take to public transport, for example, a lot of people get kidnapped. Now, also, if you look at most of the vehicles of the road, quite a number of them do not even have number plates or also on them, and for so many also, you can't even read the numbers on those vehicles. So even if you witness a situation in which suspected kidnapping is taking place, you will not be able to appropriately get the registration number of that vehicle or effectively report to any security agencies for intervention. Some of these vehicles on the road pass by the road safety, VIOs, and so on without registration numbers. And we, like in the FCT, for example, cameras were installed all over the places at one time or the other, but these things never worked. And this all has to do with the high level of corruption that takes place. So the issue of applying technology to solve the problem becomes also a major problem when we cannot follow through simple technological installations that should work, even after so much money has been expended in those areas. Well, that's the issue of technology. Then talk also about what is happening on our roads in terms of the fact that some of the security agencies that are deployed on the road are more interested in what they get from the drivers and passengers rather than they're talking about the extortion now, rather than what is happening or the type of vehicle, the type of people that are within the vehicle, inside the vehicle. So until some of these things are addressed, the security agencies may not be able to effectively address the issue of kidnapping. Punishment is it's very important in the situations of this nature as a way of making it difficult for others to want to go into it. But however, that is not the main issue. The key things we should face at this point in time is how to prevent people from going into kidnapping, how to also detect, when easily when some of these crimes are committed, particularly the aspect of ensuring that people are kept away from kidnapping. That is, ensuring that they have a means of livelihood. When people have means of livelihood, they are not likely to go into such crimes. Of course, they still would, but then it will be highly minimized. So we should focus more on the root causes of these things, and that has to do with my earlier statement of issues of poverty and unemployment increasing within the society. And these are some of the things that we need to look at, not just the issue of punitive measures. Yes, of course, those arrested should be punished appropriately. I'm not advocating for capital punishment, but then they should be given enough prolonged punishment that would deter not only them, but deter others from wanting to go into such a crime.
And away from kidnapping, have you ever wondered just why anyone would want to share unverified, untrue, and inciting information on social media? From Delta State comes the story of 28-year-old self-acclaimed blogger Ekpobo Akpomodawere, accused of posting false information indicating that men of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad had killed a young man in Ugeli. Parading the suspect at the headquarters of the State Command in Asaba, the Commissioner of Police described the action and a recent publication about Delta State government memo as misleading.
This young man, who claims to be a blogger and an activist, posted on his Facebook that some men of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad in Ugeli North Council area of Delta State had killed an innocent man. His post attracted both sympathy and condemnation of the unit of the police force already facing public criticism. Today, the blogger regrets his action.
It was an error on my part. I did not do my job well. Had it been I waited a few moments, the truth would have revealed itself. I was in a hurry.
Ekpebo's publication is likened to another online publisher who used an internal memo of the Delta State government to spread wrong information about the government spending. The Commissioner for Information wants the public to get the facts right.
In spite of such reportage in the social media by persons who call themselves journalists, but who by every stretch of imagination does not have any journalistic training. Otherwise, they would have been able to do thorough investigative journalism to know that government business is run via memo. And that when you pick up a memo or that a memo falls into your hand, that does not automatically mean that money has been stolen.
For the Commissioner of Police, the actions of these people are inimical to policing and good governance and should be stopped before they cause more havoc in society.
I can say we have been so tolerant, too tolerant about such people who take delight in abusing the internet with a view to either disparage governments at different levels or government officials, persons, as well as organizations like the Nigeria Police Force. So for that, the law of this country has been there, and the law of this country will be fully implemented and will no longer tolerate such incidents.
For the young man Ekpebo, who got on the other side of the law, he will get his day in court, as the police commissioner has vowed that this will serve as a deterrent
to other young people who don't verify information before posting on the Facebook or other social media handles.
Rape is one of the fastest rising violent crimes in Nigeria. Here are some tips to prevent rape. Avoid unsafe situations and strangers. If you are being followed, go to the nearest police station or any place with several people. Avoid walking alone. Walk with someone in areas where other people are near. Stay away from dark alleys, bushes, and entryways. Flee if you are in a potentially dangerous situation. Yell or scream to attract attention. You can carry a whistle that will make a loud noise. Engage in passive resistance by talking your way out of the situation, or active resistance by reacting to startle your attacker. Don't allow a stranger inside your home use the telephone. Leave the outside lights on at night and in more than one room.
And that's our program today. Thanks for watching. You can send in eyewitness pictures and videos to our email address and social media handles. It's coming up on your screen now. I'm Ivy Kano. See you next time.